Two British planes flying with cargo containing light anti-tank defence systems for Ukraine skirted Germany yesterday as authorities in Berlin refused to allow them to fly through their airspace. Germany simply has its own interests, with which it dominates the whole of Europe, and it tries to play out these interests in a way that is convenient for it. And it is well known that German interests include good relations with Russia. You may analyse the last few hundred years, and these efforts, good relations, are manifested in the same way. Yesterday, German Foreign Minister Anna Baerbock visited Kiev and promised to help, but clearly declined to supply weapons to Ukraine on the eve of upcoming aggression from Russia. Today, the German Foreign Minister visited Moscow and met her Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov. She pledged to continue negotiations within the framework of the Normandy format. Those common rules are the foundation of our common European house. For Germany, they are our basis of existence. Therefore, we have no other option but to defend those common rules, even if this means paying a high economic price. We have repeatedly reiterated at different levels of this federal government, in case energy is being used as a weapon, that this would have consequences on the pipeline. More than 100,000 Russian soldiers and tanks and guns have gathered near Ukraine in recent weeks, for no understandable reason. And it's not hard to see this as a threat. Since the Minsk agreement has been negotiated in the Normandy format, it's important that we come back to the negotiating table in the Normandy format. We both, as foreign ministers, and that is an immediate result of our talks, do everything to ensure that we can now take the steps for this as quickly as possible. Lavrov reiterated accusations from Russia that Ukraine was sabotaging the implementation of agreements aimed at ending the conflict between Ukrainian government forces and pro-Russian separatists in the east of the country. It is the largest commercial project of the last decade designed to ensure the energy security of Germany and Europe as a whole. We drew the attention of our German colleagues to the counterproductiveness of attempts to politicize this project. The tense situation in Ukraine was discussed by German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and the NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg. We expect Russia to de-escalate the situation. This could include a troop reduction on the Ukrainian border. We are, of course, ready to enter into a serious dialogue with Russia on security issues in Europe. The former German government and the then Chancellor, in close consultations with me and the then Foreign Minister, has agreed on this issue with the United States, its government and the President. We support all aspects which belong to this agreement, and one is that it is clear that there will be a high price to pay and that everything will have to be discussed should there be a military intervention in Ukraine. Last November, the German Foreign Ministry criticised Ukraine for using a combat drone in operations against Russian-backed separatists. Right now, Germany aims to open up the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, and to achieve this they use all tools available, including instigating internal conflict in NATO. Nord Stream 2 gas trade is the foundation of the alliance between Germany and Russia, and the guarantee of the energy dominance of Berlin. I perceive this policy, that is not allowing planes in, as a desire to soften this policy of the Russian Federation. Russia is trying to fuel the conflict all the time, even if the invasion is not going to happen, says Thomas Dziwachewski. Last week, shortly after the end of the OSCE talks in Vienna, Ukrainian websites were attacked, more than 70 sites, including those belonging to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or Education. There were also messages in Polish threatening Ukraine with serious consequences. This Thursday, the presidents of Poland and Ukraine will meet in the presidential mountain villa in Wisła City. A possible Russian invasion is definitely on the agenda.